Hi, Chris Hurn, Fountainhead Commercial Capital. Chris, congratulations. What's this all about?
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me. Well, I've been in the SBA lending space for about 17 years now, and I decided to launch my next venture. It's been a good 6+ months in germination, and here we are, Fountainhead Commercial Capital. The name, really, if you look up Fountainhead, it means an abundant source of commercial capital. So I thought it fit pretty well. I'm going to be doing a lot of what I've been doing over the last decade when I helped build up my previous firm into really, I think, a groundbreaking SBA 504 lender. I'm going to be doing all the stuff I used to do and more, and I'll have more announcements here in the next few weeks.
Chris, 504 lending volume is down.
Yes.
It's a tough product these days because of interest rates. How optimistic are you with this niche?
Well, I'm very optimistic. I mean, quite candidly, I sort of predicted this about 3 years ago when refis and FMLP went away. Without reinstating refi, I felt like 20 to 30% reduction in volume was going to happen. It's kind of done across the board. It's been down about 20% per year for the last couple of years. So, some people would look at that and say, well, maybe this is a tough time to come into the industry. I think the industry needs me to come back, candidly. I think the industry needs me to get involved. We did some really groundbreaking things in the past. We're going to do some really groundbreaking things going forward. And I still believe it is a tremendous loan program. It doesn't get the due it deserves. And, it needs people to champion it. And I've been doing it for well over a decade now, and I'm going to continue it. And hopefully we'll get some volume up, and hopefully I'll be able to work with a lot of the folks that I've worked with in the past and really push this program to the forefront where I think it needs to be. And by the way, it's interesting, the 7A volume doesn't look like it's down that much, which is interesting. And I think, I continue to believe 7As, it's a tremendous program, but applied to certain instances. I still think commercial real estate is the best product when done with an SBA 504.
We will leave the discussion of SBA 7A versus 504 for a later date, but I do want to talk about one hot topic, and that is the secondary market for 504 loans.
Yes.
Still problematic. We had a huge player who's having some issues. Yep. And how strong is that market? And bluntly, for your company to be successful, you need to have a strong SBA 504 secondary market.
Yes, and that's part of the reason why the volume, I think, is down. I mean, there's a number of different reasons, but that's certainly a contributing factor. Let's face it, the secondary market for 504 first mortgage has shrunk by about 90% over the last 4 to 5 years. And it's very problematic, as you say, but like I said, just be on the lookout for some important announcements coming in that regard, because I think it's a great opportunity to be very opportunistic about these days. And there's some interesting. Sure. Just stay tuned. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Very good, very good. You obviously need a lot of capital. How are you structured?
We're a limited liability corporation. We're a non-bank lender. I think that in this day and age, banking has always been a very heavily regulated industry, Bob, and it has become more so in the last 4 or 5 years. Always with the best intentions, of course, but we know sometimes the road to hell is paved with best intentions, as they say, and it has become there's a lot of constraints that have happened in the banking world in the last few years, and I think a lender like mine is perhaps best served outside of a bank's umbrella, and then that's one of the reasons why I've done this. Again, I started as a non-bank lender before I helped sell the company Mercantile to a bank. And I would have loved to have spun it out. Things happen, circumstances occurred, which we don't need to get into, but the bottom line is I think I can help more small business owners create wealth through commercial property ownership outside of the bank's umbrella. And candidly, I'll be working with a lot of banks, credit unions, and non-bank lenders all around the country, Bob, and I'm excited to do that. I really don't want to take deposits and do lines of credit and some of the other services that banks do. I want to kind of stick to my knitting, which is SBA 504s, and eventually we'll probably expand and do some other commercial loan programs. But I think I can make the most impact in the entrepreneurial community by doing what I've been doing for some time.
Chris, I know that you are well capitalized. You may have dodged that question, which is fine. But I look at your office and it looks
on purpose. But yes, I'm very well capitalized. I have some great partners. I'm very excited. I have a lot of capacity, and I'm very busy. I mean, it's literally they had to push me in here to get me to get on this interview because I've just been running around like a chicken with his head cut off today. I've got more people want to have meetings and meet with me and calls, and people flying in to meet with me for positions because I am, as you know, I'm hiring. We already have 6 employees. We'll probably have another 5 to 6 by month end. So it's you know, I'm not going to be satisfied doing what I did before and organically, slowly organically growing. We want to make a big impact. We want to really hit the ground running, and that's what I expect to do here.
Chris, I was going to say your office looks a little sparse. You need a little staffing. How does someone get a hold of you?
Well, we have a somewhat, by my standards, pretty pathetic website at the moment.
Well, I was going to say that. I'm glad you said it. But that's
I've heard that from a few people. Yeah, they can go to fountainheadcc.com. Literally, I have 3 calls this afternoon with web developers who want to work with me going forward. So we'll be fixing that. It says it's under construction, but it also lists some of the positions I'm hiring for. People can reach me there. Chris at fountainheadcc.com is my email. I would tell you the telephone numbers, but I don't have them memorized, and candidly, they're not even going to be hooked up until tomorrow. I mean, I'm kind of at the mercy of others, Bob, and I forget sometimes how it was 12 and a half, 13 years ago when I started my last company. There's just a lot of administrative stuff you have to do up front, and it's been fun. It's exciting. I love building stuff. Again, I'm in the shoes of my borrowers, and I think that really ties us close to them, and you know, but it's going to be a little challenging for a little while. Yeah, but those are the best ways to get a hold of me. Obviously, social media, people can look for me and find me there and whatnot. And but it's going to be fun. I have been really enjoying things this last what's it been, 4 days since I've been back in. Yeah.
Chris Hurn, President, Founder, Fountainhead Commercial Capital. Congratulations, Chris.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me.